when I was in seminary, I had a friend who said, Daniel, I'm not really here to make good grades and learn a bunch of facts. I just want to love Jesus. And I thought, man, I think he misunderstands. I remember thinking, I think he misunderstands the purpose of theology and learning about God. Whenever God is talking to the people of Israel through Moses in Deuteronomy, he talks to them about their need to teach their children how to love God. But he doesn't begin with teach your children how to love God and live in the land. He says, first of all, know who God is, know that he's one. So there's this theology they need to understand about who God is, that he's one God, he's not a multiple of gods. That's theology. And he says, and then you love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, strength. And so there's knowledge, and without that knowledge, you don't know who you're loving. So there's knowledge, and then you respond to that knowledge by loving God on the basis of his character, who he is. And then you teach your children how to love him as well. And so I think without that proper theological foundation, we can't understand rightly who God is, and we can't love him rightly. Later in Deuteronomy also, he talks about how the people are to know his statutes and his commandments, and then go in the land and live them out. And then the people around them will see how they live and say, man, there's no other nation that has a God like this God who's with his people in this way. And so what should happen is a church should be a means of helping people understand who God is, understanding theology. That theology just means the knowledge of God. And as they see a church knowing who God is, they should see that theology impacting their lives, and a church living out that knowledge of who God is in powerful ways so that God's worshiped. And people say, man, I want to know that God as well and worship him rightly. And I think one of the problems in the church today is a lack of sound theology, a lack of really knowing who God is. And as we don't know who God is, we don't worship him rightly, and then we don't live rightly. And so I believe that a church must teach sound theology so that people can go in the land and live in a right relationship with God, worshiping him rightly, delighting in who he is, delighting in the true God.